Welcome to the internet, a place where dreams come true and so do scams. A digital jungle where you're either poor, pretending to be rich, or selling a course on how to pretend to be rich while staying poor. If you scrolled past someone in a suit yelling "Get rich now" over a lo-fi beat while throwing money at the camera, congrats, you've met the internet's latest financial prophet. Today we're diving into the mind of a modern money guru, someone who claims they got rich through mindset, hustle, and probably affiliate links. Specifically, we're going to explore the world of Andrew Tate, minus the lawsuits, minus the misogyny, and minus the literal Bugatti. Because let's face it, you probably don't need a private jet, offshore casino, or 50 screenshots of fake Stripe payouts to become successful. All you need is Wi-Fi, mild delusion, and the ability to say "I'm built different" while pushing a dropshipping guide that hasn't been updated since 2019. This isn't financial advice. This is meme economics, a crash course in how to look like you know what you're doing on LinkedIn while panicking quietly in a group chat. So grab your emotional support coffee, your Pinterest vision board, and let's unlock the secrets of legalized online delusion, aka the grind set lifestyle. Let's talk about Andrew Tate, a man who somehow combined self-help, kickboxing, and a browser full of red pill forums into a multi-million-dollar brand. He's not just a guy with a Bugatti, he's a philosopher, a podcast villain, and the human version of an unskippable YouTube ad. His formula: take 1 part motivation, add 3 parts aggression, sprinkle in misogyny, and wrap it all in a $5,000 suit. He preaches the gospel of escape the matrix, which apparently means selling a course that teaches you how to sell a course. And yes, his Hustlers University is basically multi-level marketing, but for people who think reading Sun Tzu once makes them a strategist. But don't get it twisted, he's not dumb. He knows how to use clout. He weaponized controversy. He monetized rage. While the internet argued, he counted the clicks. He turned virality into a funnel and edgelord energy into actual income. His entire brand screams alpha male, yet his followers sit at home eating protein powder with a spoon and calling women females. The aesthetic: cigars, watches the size of pancakes, podcast lighting that makes everything look like it's filmed inside a crypto cave. The goal? Make you feel like a loser unless you own a private jet and a 6-pack carved from solid resentment. But here's the plot twist. You're not supposed to be him. You're supposed to pay him, because in the end, that's the real business. Not becoming rich, but looking rich enough online that people think you are. That, my friends, is influence capitalism, and it's working. Let's talk about making money the quote-unquote legal way. Whatever that means, because on the internet, if you say passive income in a YouTube title, it doesn't matter if it's dropshipping, crypto, or selling Notion templates to other Notion template sellers. It all sounds just legitimate enough. Here's the secret. People don't care how you got rich. They only care if you look rich. You could be flipping NFTs, investing in dog coins, or running 17 Airbnb arbitrage units you don't actually own. And if someone calls it a scam, just hit them with, "Nah, bro, it's just leverage." That one word has covered more digital crimes than actual lawyers. But let's be real. There is a difference between shady, sketchy, and full-on illegal. Shady is launching an online business with 0 product and 100% logo. Sketchy is cold DMing people from high school with, "I have a business opportunity." And illegal, that's when the IRS starts showing up in your dreams wearing AirPods. But no worries, there's a whole cottage industry of finance bros online to help you navigate this mess. Just listen to their advice. Buy a car through your LLC, write off your emotions, and always say investments with fake confidence. These are the people who think watching one episode of Shark Tank is equivalent to an MBA. So yes, there are legal ways to make money online. But if someone's entire strategy can be summarized as just believe and post more content, maybe, just maybe, it's not a business. It's a pyramid scheme wearing Gymshark. Stay safe, kings and queens of the side hustle, because the real grind is not getting rich, it's staying out of prison. Okay, enough clowning. Let's talk about actual, boring, sustainable ways to build wealth. Not passive income magic, not how I made $100K in my sleep. Just real functional steps. First, skills. You want money? Learn something people will pay for. Not how to optimize your Pinterest aesthetic, but things like copywriting, coding, video editing, or project management. You don't need a PhD in hustle, just a portfolio and maybe some free YouTube tutorials. Second, freelancing. Yes, it's chaotic, but it's also income that doesn't require you to scam your aunt on Facebook. There are entire websites full of people who'll pay you to edit videos of their cat. Third, investing, not crypto. Not that banana coin with a monkey mascot. We're talking boring, slow, index fund investing. The kind of thing that won't 10x your money overnight, but will help you retire before your spine collapses. Fourth, content creation. Not for fame, but for leverage. If you can explain stuff, teach stuff, or make people laugh online, you can monetize that. It won't happen in one viral video. It happens in consistent posting, community building, and slowly becoming the go-to person in your niche. Fifth, jobs still exist. Not everything has to be a side hustle. Sometimes having a salary, benefits, and the ability to sleep is revolutionary. Six, business. Not startup pitch deck in Notion business. Real product meets customer business. Learn how to sell something people actually need, not just what looks cool on your Instagram bio. In short, there are many paths to building wealth that don't involve flexing fake Rolexes or yelling, "I'm self-made" in a rented Tesla. None of them are sexy. All of them are real. So yeah, you can be a money person. Just maybe be a slightly less cringe one. Let's get something straight. Hustle culture is not productivity. It's just burnout with a Canva quote. Somewhere along the way, working hard turned into flexing how little you sleep, how much you grind, and how many tabs you have open while your eyes twitch. There's nothing noble about drinking 4 cups of black coffee at 2 a.m. while building a side hustle that makes -$4 per month. We turned capitalism into a personality. If your idea of success is waking up at 4:30 a.m. to meditate, cold plunge, and listen to 3 hours of alpha podcasts, congrats, you've achieved enlightenment. Or probably just a mental breakdown. You don't need to romanticize exhaustion. Rise and grind sounds cool until you realize you haven't seen the sun in 3 days and your lunch was a spoonful of peanut butter and trauma. These hustle bro influencers will tell you you have the same 24 hours as Elon Musk. Yeah, minus the generational wealth and private chef. Productivity is not a personality trait. It's a tool. The point isn't to work 18 hours a day. It's to work smart enough so you don't have to. And if you're still measuring your worth by how busy you are, congrats, you've entered the toxic productivity matrix. True power isn't in grinding till your eyeballs bleed. It's in saying no to things that don't matter, resting when you need to, and choosing clarity over chaos. Because the biggest flex of them all isn't a Tesla or a 6-figure dropshipping brand. It's balance. So what have we learned? You don't need a Bugatti, a podcast mic, or a crypto course called Sigma Empire Wealth Awakening to win in life. You need clarity, self-awareness, and maybe a little Wi-Fi. You don't need to be a millionaire by 23. You don't need to build a 7-figure brand selling digital incense to stressed out Gen Z. You need consistency. You need to get good at boring things. You need to touch grass, pay your taxes, and maybe call your mom. What we're saying is the internet is full of noise. Loud voices screaming grind, hustle, alpha, matrix, as if yelling buzzwords louder makes them true. But the truth, the actual key, it's the opposite of all that. The real flex isn't being on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. It's knowing who you are, doing honest work, and getting 8 hours of sleep without having to monetize your dreams. This has been your crash course in meme economics. Get rich slowly, hydrate often, and remember, if someone screams, "You're just lazy," while selling you a course, they're not a mentor, they're a marketer. Stay skeptical, stay funny, stay paid. See you in the comment section.